This beaver was truly impressive. He wasn't afraid to bite through an entire tree. With just one hug of his paws, he lifted the whole trunk right off the ground. But to everyone's surprise, that tree was only a section of the trunk. They didn't even need to fell a whole tree. They could cut it neatly into small logs instead. Then, lining up in perfect order, they flicked each log into place with their tails. Beaver Dad watched proudly as his little workers bustled about. Just then, he spotted one lazy little guy, sleeping behind everyone else. Fuming, Beaver Dad called him over at once, and told him to take charge of sawing the wood. But soon enough, something felt off again. Sure enough, the little one had dozed off, this time right on top of the saw. Beaver Dad was furious. He yanked the little beaver over, and gave him a lesson with his tail. The young beaver, angry and resentful, decided to run away from home. To keep from getting lost, he scattered breadcrumbs along the way, planning to follow them home once he was done playing. But he didn't realize that the birds had already eaten them all. By the time he noticed, it was too late. Without the breadcrumbs to guide him, he was completely lost in the forest. He cried and shouted for help. Just then, a hungry wolf spotted him. The wolf disguised himself as a forest ranger. The little beaver hurried over for help, begging the ranger to take him home. The wolf pretended to know the way, and pointed him in a direction. The beaver ran off eagerly, and sure enough, he found breadcrumbs on the ground, exactly where the wolf had said, believing he was finally on his way home. But those breadcrumbs were the wolf's trap. The moment the little beaver stepped inside, the wolf slammed the door shut. Realizing the danger, the beaver tried to escape, but the only exit had already been tampered with. He rammed into it, and blacked out instantly. The wolf grinned and started his machine. All he needed to do was place the beaver inside, and he'd have himself a brand new fur coat. Just as the beaver's life hung by a thread, a patrolling flying squirrel swooped down from the sky. He burst into the cabin, and gave the wolf a solid beating, sending him flying out the door with a single punch. The wolf fled in disgrace. The little beaver finally understood his mistake. When he got home, the first thing he did was pick up his tools and get to work, and from that day on, he never slacked off again.